Yes, no, not given questions are tricky if you don't have a strategy for solving them. And that's a problem because these questions come up frequently in IELTS reading. If you want to solve yes, no, not given questions correctly and score high on IELTS reading, this video is for you. By the end of this video, you will know how to solve these questions fast. By the way, guys, if you're going to take your IELTS soon, check out my IELTS materials. There, I teach you everything you need to score high. I show you step by step how to give high scoring answers. And of course, we do many practice tests together, so you will feel confident for your test. You can find the link to the IELTS materials in the description box. And now, let's get started. Let's have a look at a yes, no, not given question. This is the passage. And here are the instructions and the questions. The key point here is that the instructions tell you what to do. You have to write yes if the statement agrees with what the writer thinks, and no if the statement disagrees. You have to write not given if the information is not in the text, and you can't find enough facts to support the statement if it's implied. These questions are almost like true, false, not given questions. And that's a problem because many test takers confuse the two. Actually, solving them is about the same. The main point to know is that true, false, not given questions relate to specific facts given in the text. By contrast, yes, no, not given questions refer to opinions or statements that the writer feels are true. But the problem is that since these types of questions are so similar, some test takers make a terrible mistake. And this mistake makes their score go down like this. In fact, I made this mistake when I was practicing for IELTS reading. And when I realized that, I just thought, Juva, what were you thinking? What had I done? I didn't pay attention and wrote true, although the answer was yes. Don't make this mistake. You will not get a point for the answer. And that's such a pity because you know the correct answer. You have just not written down the correct word because you didn't pay attention. Guys, you must write yes or no or not given. They can be uppercase or lowercase, or the first letter can be uppercase. The point is, use the correct words and write out the words. Don't answer with a Y, N, or NG. Those are also wrong answers, even if you made the correct choice. This is a really important detail that can really affect your final score. Additionally, when trying to solve these questions, it's important to know that they are usually in the order that you will find them in the text. That's really useful when you are having a hard time deciding on an answer. Look in the text for evidence for the question before or after the one you are stuck on. That way, you have a lot less text to read. A useful tip is to highlight the answers as you find them, so it's easier to know where to start looking for the next answer. Another crucial tip for finding the correct part of the passage is to look for keywords. Those are things that can't be paraphrased or changed easily. Dates like March 2, 1932 are great keywords. You can also look for names of people or places. Those are hard to paraphrase too. Read the question first, then look for the keywords in the passage. Additionally, think about how things are paraphrased. Let's look at question number 1. Geothermal energy is more dependable in adverse weather than all other energy sources. When you read this statement, think about paraphrasing because you must understand what this sentence means. If you don't understand it, you can't solve it. What does this sentence say? It says that geothermal energy is more dependable or reliable than other renewable energy sources. Adverse means bad, so this is talking about bad weather. Let's have a look at the passage. Does it say anything about that? We can see the words geothermal energy in the first sentence, so let's have a look at this sentence. Geothermal energy, which is made by tapping steam from underground reservoirs of heated water, is superior to solar and wind energy because it is stable, meaning it is not reliant on weather conditions to produce certain amounts of energy. though that is not a concern with tidal energy. The text states that geothermal energy is stable. That's another paraphrase for dependable. This means that geothermal energy is not dependent on weather. So it looks like the correct answer is yes, right? But guys, there is a trap here. Don't fall into this trap. The IELTS often use traps like this one to check whether you actually understand what you're reading. What am I talking about? Extreme words. You must carefully check the choice to see if there are extreme words. These are words that make the answer too strong, like every or none. Many times the real situation is some, and so extreme words often make an answer incorrect. Question number 1 has an extreme word. Can you find it? The word I'm talking about is all. That means every single one. However, the text only talks about stability with geothermal compared to solar and wind energy. The text states that tidal energy doesn't have the problem of stability, since it's not a concern. That means that the author feels that geothermal is more stable than certain, but not all kinds of energy. In other words, the answer to this question is no, because it's too extreme. Here you can see that you must pay attention to every word. Read the statement and the passage carefully before answering the question. By the way, guys, if this video is helpful to you, do me a favor and hit the like button. It makes me really happy to see that you like my videos. Also, comment down below which IELTS topics you want me to talk about. I would love to know what you're interested in, so please let me know in the comments. Now, let's have a look at 3 more strategies you can use to solve yes, no, not given questions. It's important to know that some answers are implied rather than directly stated. Let's move on to question number 2. There are acceptable emissions involved with building and operating a geothermal plant. This one has the keyword emissions. It doesn't have extreme words. The modifier to pay attention to is acceptable. That means reasonable or okay. Now, look for the correct part in the text. We can see the verb emit here, so this sentence seems to talk about emissions. The sentence states that an argument in favor or for geothermal energy is that it doesn't emit greenhouse gases when operating. That sounds reasonable. We keep reading as there is more discussion about emissions. The passage states that related emissions are lower than for solar and natural gas. Pay attention to paraphrasing here, guys. Do you see that construction and maintenance in the passage are paraphrased as building and operating in the answer choice? Always remember that words in the question may be paraphrased in the passage, so pay attention to that. But what do we make of the passage? The text doesn't actually state the correct answer, but it says that there are lower emissions over the lifetime of the plant. And that is an argument in favor of using geothermal energy. Therefore, the author must think that the emissions are an acceptable or reasonable level. So question number 2 shows the author's view, right? That means the correct answer is yes. Last, let's have a closer look at not given choices. Pay attention here, guys. These are not the same as no. No refers to something that is not true according to the passage. However, not given means that there is just not enough information to solve it. Question number 3 is a good example. It says it is more effective to cool using geothermal energy than other methods of producing energy. Let's paraphrase this so you can understand it better. Geothermal energy is more effective or better than other methods for cooling. You know that most likely the answer comes after the answer for question number 2, because the questions are usually in order. So we start here in the text. Furthermore, it is a versatile energy form since the steam can be used for heating or it can drive electricity producing turbines. Though it is not intuitive, Geothermal energy can also be used for cooling, as excess surface heat can be transferred to the reservoir, where it is absorbed by the subterranean water. Now you can see that geothermal energy is versatile, which means that it can be used many ways. But does that mean that it's effective? Not really. The text also says that it is usable for cooling because the heat can be absorbed by the water underground. That's good, but it doesn't compare whether it's better than other types of energy or not. Just because it can be used for cooling doesn't mean it's better. There is no real information to show how well it cools. So you can't decide the author's opinion because there are not enough clues. So here the correct answer is not given. Some test takers spend a lot of time trying to find clues, but if you search for parts related to the question and can't decide, then the answer is probably not given. Let's check out my final tip for you guys. Leave no blanks. You don't get any points taken off for wrong answers, and you might just guess right. So if you don't know the answer, make a guess. Actually, there's a trick you can use to increase the likelihood of guessing correctly. I find that I'm usually most confused about the not given questions. So if you run out of time, that's a good choice to answer the question. That's it. That's how to solve yes, no, not given questions in IELTS reading. I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified when the next video comes out. Also, share this video with your friends so they can improve their IELTS score too. See you in the next video!